Dad, that attack took place early this morning. Correspondent Christina Mesquita reports on ongoing talks between the U.S. and Cuba.
After several days of speculation, President Diaz-Canel announced that talks between Cuba and the United States have taken place. He added that any negotiations must respect equality, each country's political system, and Cuba's sovereignty and self-determination. Diaz-Canel also said that no oil has entered Cuba in 3 months, calling the impact of the U.S. energy blockade tremendous.
More from townhall.com.
8 o'clock just got sweeter. Patsies, there's no sucking up here. Grab your binkies, grab your little blankie. You're about to get a shot of America first.
Say hello to my little friend!
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, no thanks. Canada can be last. Until it's a state, then it naturally becomes first.
But y'all don't say that.
So why don't you stick that in your pipe and smoke it, soy boy?
And I'm a knucklehead at times.
Like full-time. Killer Carl! Carl, your mic.
Got it?
Good to go.
All right, let's try this one more time. Broadcasting live from Iron Bean Coffee Studios here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, on the John Fredericks Radio Network and all social media. Today we have a very special guest. I'm excited about this. We have Heather Hill. Oh, she is running for governor of Ohio. Let's welcome Heather on. Some reason I don't see my camera up, Tyler. I don't know why, but
Go ahead, guys. Heather's on.
all right. Hey, Heather, how are you doing today?
Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this, because here we are, you're just a small business owner, right? Small business owner, foster mom. And you decide one day, I'm sick and tired of the rhinos and all these horrible governors and politicians that promise us they're going to have effective change.
Yep, they promise us the moon and give us crap.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely. So real quick, you don't mind taking calls, right, today?
No, not at all.
All right, so we're going to open up the phone lines. If you want to call, you can give us a call, 888-480-5646, 888-480-5646. Now, Heather, take us into your journey. What brought you here, right? So I'm assuming one day you're sitting in your living room or maybe at your office, right? And you just see the bureaucrats in Ohio just destroying your beautiful state.
Well, I'm not your typical politician. I'm a wife, a military mom, a foster parent, and an entrepreneur. But more importantly, I'm someone who shares your values, your struggles, and your dreams for a better future. That's why I'm running for a governor. I wanted to be a leader that understands what it means to fight, to serve, and to work hard for everyday Americans. So here I am.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Now, I was doing a little research, and if you don't mind if I dig into this, because this is something that I've personally experienced. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I had a foster son named Jamal, and brought him into our home, and great kid, charismatic, ended up getting involved with the wrong people, ended up getting thrown out of a car and passing away. So
I'm
that's
so
not something
sorry for your loss.
yes, that's
So
not
sorry.
something I share too much. But I know you've experienced something similar in your research, in the research I did on you. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The reason the ones that originally asked me to run for governor were law enforcement and military. Um, I had my first foster son. Well, he was not my first foster son, but he was our first foster son that we lost. His name was Donovan, and he was shot and killed by law enforcement officers. And at that time, our friends and family that were in law enforcement started asking me if I would consider running at that time, just to help bridge the gaps between law enforcement officers and our young people and people with mental illnesses and people of color. And I was grieving, and I was just like, oh, this is not something that I would ever think of doing on my own, running for governor. But I felt like God was calling me to this. Almost exactly a year later, a second foster child, our foster daughter, who was 7 months pregnant at the time, Takaya, was shot and killed. And I said, okay, God, I hear you loud and clear. I understand what you want from me, and I'm going to do what you're asking me to do. So within just a couple hours of her being shot, I had over 200 emails. People were just really wanting me to bridge those gaps and do everything that I could. And I felt like I was in the position to do that. And we went straight forward ahead. I was working on President Trump's campaign at the time and also helping out on the Bernie Moreno campaign. So as soon as that election was over, I decided I was going to announce that I was running at the Ohio Republican Party, and went in there excited and happy to announce. My husband was recording it. We were planning on documenting the whole thing, and it went to shit very quickly. So, yeah. So, but one thing I want everybody to understand, we don't give up. When we're met with people that just don't want us in the room, don't think we should be at the table, we fight. We fight because that's what true conservatism is. We actually fight for what we believe in, and we believe in Christ, and we believe in the things that he has taught us, and that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to bring back to the governor's office.
So the Republican establishment pushed back, right? They had this vision of Vivek running. Is that basically what happened? Vivek had all the, well, let's face it, he's got a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the establishment probably had envisioned him, spent a lot of time with Trump, obviously, on the campaign trail. But to be honest, Heather, I think you're a breath of fresh air.
Well, thank you.
Because these millionaires that are all for H-1B visas, and I don't know where you stand on this. H-1B visas, cheap labor, flooding our country with illegal immigration to help their bottom lines out. And I look at Vivek, and I'm sure he's just a really nice guy, right? But I just don't see him as an effective governor. I see him as somebody that's looking at this as a stepping stone.
Absolutely, you're correct. Now, the day that I went in to announce, I had never even heard that Vivek was considering running for governor. It was in November 2024. So I don't know what their excuse was for acting the way that they did, but they have a history of treating grassroots candidates, and especially women that are running for governor in Ohio, this way. So I'm not real sure what happened that day, but it was extreme. It was extreme. But after I announced that I was running, then I think it was Dave Yost maybe a few weeks later. And if I'm not mistaken, Amy Acton was third to announce. But yeah, I mean, it's been an uphill battle because the establishment has VR and they want to shove him down our throats. They don't want to give us the opportunity to have a primary. They don't want to give us another choice. And they have done everything they possibly can to silence my voice because they know that I literally check every single conservative box. I've been doing this for for almost 2 years now. And one thing that they're saying all over the news is that VR announced too early and he gave people the chance to pick apart his life, and that's why he's having so much problems right now. But you've got to remember, I announced way further than VR, and if there was anything at all, it would have came out by now, you know. So I'm truly who I am. I truly live the lifestyle that I say I do, and I truly believe that I am the best choice for Ohio as our next governor.
Now, I believe you are too. I truly do. Like, just
Thank
doing
you.
research on you. Now, this takes money, right? So it's
Absolutely.
not cheap. And I just want to say, so we're on 23 radio stations here, and we're streaming all over the internet. But what I want to say to people outside of Ohio is, you can still help Heather, right? You can
Absolutely.
donate to her campaign. You can work the phones for her. And if you're in a bordering state, right, you can cross over and knock on doors, right? Because
Absolutely.
Heather needs your help. And Heather, where can they go to donate to your campaign? I want to hit this a couple of times because I want it to sink into people's head.
Well, thank you so much. You can go to fightlikehill.com. That's fightlikehill, Hill, and you can see that behind me.
I love it. I love it 100%, because that's what we need. We need fighters running our
Absolutely.
states. We need fighters that we're sending to Washington and to fight for us, because in too many cases, and we see it, we send career politicians to
Absolutely.
Washington, D.C. We have career politicians, as governor of our states, that have never run a small business. They're straight out of law school. And it's just a stepping stone for them
Absolutely.
to either line their own pocket, right, or get their friends sweetheart contracts, for the state, from the state, and all kinds of stuff. Now, from what I understand, is you are involved in housing. Is that correct? You renovate homes.
Well, we own a small real estate firm.
Okay.
We have rental properties that we have, and we rent out to all over Ohio, to low income to middle income families.
I love that. So, you being governor, how are you going to tackle the housing affordability crisis, especially in places like Springfield, Ohio? And we'll get into what's been done to Springfield.
Yeah.
How would you approach housing affordability crisis in all over Ohio?
Well, this is the thing. I spend every day campaigning for almost 2 years. I spend around anywhere from 12 to 18 hours per day. And I have a saying is, they will never outwork me. Being an entrepreneur, at one time, I had 5 businesses all at once and was raising a family. So I absolutely understand that. But the thing is, with when I'm going out and I'm meeting with people, especially trying to solve the housing crisis, because when you're running for governor, you need a good, strong platform of what you believe, what you don't believe, and how you're going to correct issues. Just saying that you're going to run isn't going to work. You have to have a way to solve issues. So both Stu and I are small businesses, and we believe in common sense. These things that we're coming up with they're not brain surgery or anything like that. They're just regular common sense, everyday ideas. And when I sat down and met with the contractors and industry that was wanting to come in and build in Ohio to help solve the housing crisis, the main thing that they spoke about was the red tape. The red tape of building in different townships and different counties throughout Ohio. It was just astronomical. I mean, having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get a permit to build a property, and then going to another township right down the road from that property and having to go through all of that again. It's just little everyday common sense things that will open up and allow industry and housing to come into Ohio. I Another thing, we are very, very supportive. We're the only candidates that have actively supported the abolishment of property taxes from the very beginning. I started protesting with them almost 2 years ago in Cleveland, Ohio. So, you know, we have to represent the people. When we have true representation, that's when things will really change. We cannot keep electing billionaires who only have the best interests of their billionaire friends or their billionaire mama or their billionaire whatever, or the people that just simply play musical chairs. They have no interest in making sure that the voters are happy and are able to thrive. Their interest is just simply keeping a job for the next 4 years. So it's really, Ohio is in a catch-22. We really are. And that's why we need people like myself and people like Stuart Moats to step out of our security boxes and do something about it. Like I said, we're regular, everyday Ohioans.
So, once you become governor, you're going to get pushback from the legislature against,
Everything.
eliminating property taxes. I mean, you've got me wanting to move to Ohio from Pennsylvania if you eliminate property taxes. I think I'm going to be knocking on the door. I'm going to be moving
Absolutely. You're
right
welcome
there.
in.
So
And that's what we're hoping it will do. We're hoping and we're praying, and we know for sure that it's going to stimulate our economy. It's going to bring people into Ohio. And right now we're like every day losing folks. I mean, it's horrible. We're losing our kids and grandkids, young Americans that want to start families. Everything in Ohio, we have the best of everything, but we are the most expensive. So we're going to do something about that.
how are you going to handle the pushback from the legislation aspect of it?
Well, one thing with property taxes, the governor does not have the ability to pass or deny anything with property taxes. What we can do is help the movement move along by putting people in positions and just making sure that it is always on the forefront of our minds. But the voters are going to have to get out. They're going to have to get those signatures. They're going to have to do everything that they need to do to get this on the ballot. And once we get it on the ballot, it's going to go through. I believe that 100%. So we've got to do our homework and our due diligence to make sure that everything goes through and goes through the way that it should.
Absolutely love that. You hear that, people of Ohio? It's time to get off your butt and get motivated like Heather here. And actually, your average citizen, in my opinion, Heather, should be running for local office. Whether it's city council, school board, people need to get involved. The time for complaining is over.
Yes.
As you can see by Heather's leadership, that she stepped in the game. She put herself out there, right? And she's willing to take the arrows and stuff because she's fighting for something she believes in. She's fighting for a state. You grew up there, right? You're from
Absolutely.
Appalachia, right? Appalachian Mountains.
Yes,
Tell us
sir.
a little bit about that.
Well, I grew up in Morgan County, Ohio. I put myself through college here in southeastern Ohio. So, I'm just, for over 30 years, I've been married to my high school sweetheart, Darren. And together we have 2 children and have opened our hearts and our home to over 50 foster children. I'm just a little farm girl from Appalachia, Ohio with dyslexia. I'm just a regular little nothing.
You're not a nothing. You've got a big heart, and
Well, thank you. Thank
you're
you.
an amazing person. So let's get a little bit into, or a lot into, what I believe is the biggest issues, I think, in a lot of states. You've got the Somalian fraud, right? As governor, how are you going to take control of this situation and start to rein this in? Because we're talking millions of dollars of taxpayer money just being wasted on what I believe illegal invaders. And I know people aren't going to like that I say that, but I don't really care because it's the truth. These people, they come here They don't assimilate. They expect us to bend to their will.
Absolutely.
They use our laws and freedoms against us, and take advantage of our kindness and good hearts. So, as governor, Heather, how are you going to rein this problem in?
Well, you know, it's very simple, cut and dry. We are going to put a stop to it. We're going to stop it. We're going to find the fraud, and we're going to doge the fraud right out of Ohio. That's what we need to do. And nobody needs to be in anyone's back pocket, and nobody is in our back pocket. We are going to do what's best for Ohio. And having people come into our home, which is Ohio, it is not what's best. You know, these people are coming in. They don't speak our language. They don't care about our culture. They don't care about our people. And they look at all of us like we're just some rich kids that they want to take our lunch money. That's not the way it's going to be any longer. Okay,
That's
we're
an amazing way to look at it. It is. I mean, I've never thought of it that way, but it's true.
Yeah.
Um,
We're very much being bullied in the United States. You know, that would be like you opening your front door and inviting a guest in, but while they're here, they just open your refrigerator, they go through it, they start taking money out of your wallet. They do all of these things while you invited them into your home. They disrespect you and tell you, you can't pray. You can't do these things. This is our home. At what point are we going to get respect? At what point are you going to honor our wishes? We invited you into our home, or we accepted you. A lot of them we didn't even invite. They just broke into our home.
yeah.
So, you know,
Or we're just dumped there.
yeah. Yeah, which is Springfield's case, you know. So we have to do something. And and what's happening with Christians, we are just sitting back and saying, we're going to pray and we're going to let God deal with it. That's not what God wants from us. God wants us to act. He wants action. And that's what we have to do. We have to get off of our butts, get out there and vote. You know, we have to make decisions that are going to be in the best interest of our children, or we are going to lose our children.
So
it's very cut and dry.
What are some of your, say, when you get elected? I'm saying you're going to get elected. When you get elected, what are the top priorities on your desk right then and there you want to start effective change on?
Well, very first, we're going to start putting Ohio first. And I mean that. I mean, a lot of people use that. They're just words. But no, Ohio first means Ohio first. So no property taxes, no data centers unless a community wants the data centers. You know, the data centers were brought in under the cover of night, pretty much, and just put in people's communities. They didn't get a chance to vote on them. They were asked what you're building, and they were given just very deceiving answers. And now these people are having to live with these data centers and them taking up our farmland, using up our water supply, not to mention the health risk that we don't even fully understand yet. We will also have deregulation efforts, just like I talked about with the housing crisis. Pro-life and pro-family will always be one of my biggest issues. Medical freedom, allowing conservative parents to decide what's best and what's not best to put into their children's body. Reshoring our factories. CPS reform is another big one. Just protecting Christian families that don't buy into the ideology, but they're taking their children. I literally speak to 4 to 5 families every single week in Ohio that CPS has literally come in and destroyed their lives. And, you know, and let me tell you, I have seen a lot being in the foster care system for the last 25 years. I have seen a lot, and I understand that there are always two sides to every story, but these parents are providing me with documentation. They're not being even given. I spoke to a woman the other night that doesn't even know why they took her son. She was a nurse with a nursing license and doing everything that she could. Her son had a documented disorder, and they just come and took her child away. And then, you know, all of the financial burden that fell from that decision that they made has just devastated this woman's life. So, there's so much that we have to do to make sure that our government is transparent. We will also be deporting criminals in Ohio under my watch. We will make sure that our borders are safe and secure, and we will support whatever the White House is doing to keep our borders safe and secure. We will be cutting taxes. We will make sure that there's no men and women's sports or women's locker rooms. We will be supporting our farmers and our farmland. And when I say that, I live on a 100-acre farm. My husband's family owns 2 farms. And they were a farming family when he was growing up. So we understand very well the culture of farmers. And we're going to do everything that we possibly can to make sure that they feel heard and they know how important they are to us. We're going to also get rid of a lot of this bioengineered foods in Ohio. That's going to support our farmers as well. And we will always, always support the Epstein survivors.
I love it. I love it. Sounds like a winning message to me.
Well, thank you.
I mean, it does. And again, tell people where they can go because, like I said, your campaign requires money and volunteers.
Absolutely.
And you can work phones from other states. It's not like you have to be in Ohio. You can reach out to Heather Hill's campaign, and you can offer your services to make phone calls. You can donate to her campaign. And what do you need people in Ohio to do to help you right now?
Right now, we need donations. So if you would go to fightlikehill.com, there are a few different donate tabs. It takes you directly to Win Red, which is a secure Republican platform. Please, please make donations. Even if it's as small as $20, $50, it doesn't matter. That may seem like a small amount to you, but there's 11 million voters or 11 million people in Ohio. So if we could get just a third of those people just to give us a few dollars, we would be well beyond where we need to be. So please don't think that any donation is too small. Please help us out with donations. One thing with VR, he has billionaire buddies and he has all of the billionaires that are on his side as well as the establishment. But we have to fight and we have to put our money where our mouth is to make sure that we win this race. And when I say we, I mean all of us Ohioans.
And it's becoming a crowded field in Ohio for governor. You got this Casey Putscha, is that his name? I believe that's his name. Right?
I think so.
So he's this YouTuber. He's like a car guy, right? And he decides he's going to jump in. What do you know about him? Do you?
Well, I have spoken to him a couple times. He seems like a very nice man, but he is just all over the place. I just don't think that he has the mental maturity to be our governor at all. Just his fits of rage and I don't know. I really don't.
Not level.
No. Just listening to some of his interviews, I'm like, ugh. But
so, education in Ohio, it's obviously suffered because you've had all these illegal invaders dumped into your state, Somalians, Haitians. How do you plan to fix that? How do you plan to prioritize the actual children of Ohio and make education better?
Well, as you know, I used to be a school board president. I have taught in classrooms. I have taught in college classrooms as well. So, I really understand the education process. And I believe that we need to make sure that we are always, always allowing parents to be part of the children's education system. Under no circumstances do we have the mentality where the superintendents and teachers are saying, well, when your child's here, they're mine. No, they are not. They are not yours. When things go south, you call me to come and pick them up. So no. No.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're just common sense. Nobody cares more about a child's education than their parents. Nothing should be happening to your children that you are not aware of. This is just common sense, everyday things. Your child should not be brainwashed while they're at school. They should not be taught that I need to hide certain things from my parents, the ones that love me, the ones that take care of me, the ones that are going to have my back for the rest of my life. So, these things just don't make sense, and they don't add up. And what's happening when they have the ability to isolate and separate our children from us, then they have the ability to groom our children. So so many things are going to stop under my watch. I was one of those mothers that was in the classroom often. I was the band mom, I was the basketball mom, the football mom. I volunteered in classrooms the entire time that Darian and Dahlia were growing up. So we have to make sure that we allow parents to get back into the classrooms, to volunteer, to do everything that we want to do as parents to make sure that our education system is doing their job. Because when we have no one holding them accountable, that is when things go south.
Yep. I definitely think COVID opened up people's eyes
Yes.
to what's going on in public schools. All my kids were homeschooled. Are you open to charter schools?
Absolutely.
I love charter schools.
I believe that, I had my kids in private school, public school, and I homeschooled. So again, just to reiterate, nobody cares more about a child's education than their parents. A parent should be able to say, this is not working for child A, but it's working for child B. So I need the opportunity to move child A to a private school or a charter school or wherever they see fit. I need the ability to homeschool. And those funds should follow that child. Those funds are to educate that child. It is not for the schools. The schools are looking at this like this is their money, and that is not the case. That money belongs to that child and is provided by the state of Ohio to educate that particular child.
Yeah, and here in Pennsylvania, it's crazy. With charter schools, they hold them to a whole different level of standard. It's much higher than your public school, and they perform so much better. So many kids end up going to college more out of a charter school than they do public school, because our public schools have become nothing but a daycare center here in Pennsylvania, and I'm sure it's probably somewhat similar in Ohio. But let me take a minute real quick, Heather, just to highlight some of our advertisers here. They pay the bills, right? So,
absolutely.
We'll be right back. All right. So Iron Bean Coffee Company. Listen, you want the absolute best coffee you're ever going to have. And they're outside of Ohio there. They're right in Ohio. Go to ironbeancoffee.com, ironbeancoffee.com. You're going to absolutely love it. I am drinking this morning, I believe it's salted caramel. That's right. My wife's got me hooked on the flavored coffee. Black, no cream, no sugar. It tastes amazing. You're going to absolutely love it. They've got great merch. They've got amazing coffee. It's roasted and shipped to your door the day you order it. And Freddie, well, he's a former Marine, so you got to support him. He's dedicated his life to serving our country and then serving you some amazing coffee. So go to ironbeancoffee.com, ironbeancoffee.com. Now, Beyond Detox. Listen, Jacob's going to be on next weekend with us again, right? Jacob is a holistic practitioner, right? And you can go to beyonddetox.com/Carl, right? You can get 5% off. He's got amazing products in his store, red light therapies. He's got all types of protocols for detoxifying your body when it comes to heavy metals, parasites. He's got hydroxygen, which is amazing. I use it every morning. You're going to absolutely love it. It gives you the additional edge you need to start your morning. So you're going to love it. Just go to beyonddetox.com/Killer Carl. and you're going to absolutely love these products. And you can book a free consultation, 15 minutes with Jacob, right, to see what's ailing you if you're sick and tired of the medical merry-go-round, right? Spend some time with practitioner Jacob. He'll get you all healthy again. He's done it for my friend James. He's done it for my friend Murphy. Absolutely amazing results. Feeling better, sleeping better, healthier. Go to beyonddetox.com/Killer Carl. And Meraki Medicinal. You know how much I love this stuff. Methylene Blue. If you've never tried it, now's your time, right? Meraki Medicinal, Methylene Blue. What does it do? Well, I'll tell you what, since I've been taking it, I have not been sick. Now, Tyler's been taking it, and he's got kids in daycare, and I don't know if everybody remembers, but every other day, Tyler was getting sick. Now, Tyler's taking it. Tyler, have you been sick?
I have not been sick. Now I just got to work on my neck injuries.
Well, there you go. Your neck injury. Well, how'd that happen?
Ironically enough, I think it's the freaking chiropractor I went to many times recently.
They scare me, dude. I'm going to be honest. Chiropractors scare me. I went to one once, and I thought he cracked my ribs. He didn't, but it sure felt like it. But yeah, go to MerakiMedicinal.com. They've got amazing products. The Methylene Blue, I highly recommend. My wife loves the cold-pressed organic black seed oil, and she also loves the Meraki Moon Cream. It's a beef talon, right, mixed with methylene blue, because methylene blue is really good for you topically. The only problem is it stains your skin blue, and you don't want to look like a Smurf, right? So you can use it, and it's amazing. It keeps you beautiful and youthful, just like my wife. And PatriotPouch.com, another one Tyler loves. He's using it, PatriotPouchUSA.com, promo code KillerCarl, right? You can save 10%. It is a nicotine alternative. It is not nicotine, YouTube. It is to stop you from using nicotine. So if you like chew or you like to smoke, drop those bad habits. Get the Patriot Pouch. Just go to www.patriotpouch.usa or patriotpouchusa.com. They've got amazing flavors. Tyler, are you still the Winter Mint? You still on that, or did you go through all them yet?
Yeah, Liberty Mint. That's what I'm on right now, actually.
Absolutely. You're gonna love this stuff, right? Do you get the same effects that you would from regular chew without ruining and staining your teeth?
I've been chewing for forever, and so as a scuba diver, the problem, I know that anyone who's ever chewed knows this, that I know it sounds weird or gross, dippers cough. So you just randomly cough. At least it finally caught up to me. So I had to, because you can't be coughing when you're 100 feet underwater. So that's why I started looking for these alternatives. And Patriot Pouch definitely fixes it.
And you know what the great thing about Patriot Pouch is? It's owned by my man, Alex Duncan, right? It's owned by my man, Alex Duncan, and he's a patriot, a former candidate for U.S. Senate in Texas. Amazing guy, crusader for Christians and eradicating the Muslims takeover in Texas. And I absolutely love it. All right, let's get back to Heather, because nobody wants to hear about this. But support my sponsors, because that's what keeps us on the air. And I believe I'm going away, Tyler. I didn't tell you this. We're going to do some announcements. I'm going away on the 1st of August to the 8th of August. We're going to have, I believe, Jacob's going to fill in for me from Holistic Health on the 1st, and Alex Duncan is going to fill in for me on the 8th. So you'll get to work with them, Tyler. You're going to love them. All right, let's bring Heather back. All right, Heather, this Haitian population in Springfield, Ohio, it has completely devastated the community. Good friend of mine, James Blanken, has experienced this firsthand, and it has devastated the community. They are prioritizing these illegal invaders, and it has completely flipped the town upside down. Homelessness is at an all-time high, but the homelessness doesn't affect the actual natural-born residents of Springfield, Ohio. It doesn't affect the Haitians, but it affects them.
Yes, that's true.
So how do we fix this? How are you going to put pressure on the politicians in Springfield, Ohio, the mayor? How are we going to put pressure on them to make them prioritize the actual citizens of Springfield, Ohio, and actually listen? Because they go to these city council meetings and they're shut down.
Yeah.
Any resident that speaks out against the atrocity that's happening to them, they're shut down. How do we combat that?
Well, first of all, it should have never happened. They put 18,000 people in one city. You know, and Governor DeWine, he did not put them in Bexley. He did not put them in his backyard. He literally dropped off 18,000 people that don't speak their language, don't understand their culture, and don't care to understand their culture, most of them. You know, just I don't understand how this is happening. I don't understand how we got to the place where we allow people to invade one of our cities. They're supposed to be there temporarily. Well, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're bringing gang activity. They're bringing crime. It's a mess. It is a mess. And for some reason, when those people speak out, they are called racist just because they don't want their city being overrun by people that don't understand them, don't speak their language, can't even drive correctly. You know, they have to worry about their children just walking on the sidewalks because these people were literally brought over here and given driver's license. I mean, it's one thing after the other, and it's like, how it just blows my mind. It blows my mind that we allow this to happen to our people, and I promise you, it will no longer happen under my watch. For one, we are going to, if you want to go against the laws of the land, you want to go against what our president is trying to do, then there will be consequences for that, just like anyone else that breaks the law.
So as governor, are you able to launch an investigation into driver's licenses that have been given to these illegal invaders unlawfully?
Absolutely. You know, there are ways to check that. You know, if they were not, there has to be requirements, just like with any other American. There are requirements that they have to learn, that they have to pass tests, that they have to do certain things to allow them to drive. But we're breaking our own rules and laws when it comes to these people that are coming into our country. It just doesn't make sense. And you know, they're giving them CDLs.
That's scary.
It's very scary. I was hit by a semi when I was probably 6 months pregnant with my son.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We were on our way to the Columbus Zoo, and my husband was already meeting us there, and we had some kids from our church. My dad and mom picked me up, and and we were hit from behind by a semi. We were almost hit twice, but my dad was a truck driver and drove us down over an embankment to prevent from being hit the second time.
Oh
The second time more than likely would have killed all of us. But you know, that's a scary thing. You know, just a little fender bender with a semi can take your life.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it's like, what is happening? What is going on?
I you know, it's funny. To me, and it's all greedy corporations that are facilitating this. The H-1B visa lovers like Vivek. You know, Ohio, think about this. I know everybody loved Vivek, but
He called our kids stupid.
Yes, when he came out with the statement that Americans are stupid, right there, I was out. Because we're not. Because there's a reason people come to America. There's leaders around the world, when they have a medical condition, they come to America right? People come to American colleges. Why? Because we have the best colleges. We have the best
Yes, we do.
hospitals. We have the best of everything,
Yes, we
right?
do.
I absolutely, we need to start voting for people like Heather that love our country.
Thank you.
Citizens that were meant to go to affect change and then go back into the private industry again, not become lifetime politicians.
That's right.
That I'm so over that, and I think the American people are finally starting to wake up to this, Heather. That these politicians that we've been voting for they don't have our best interest at heart, and we need to exit that strategy, right? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, and we're not getting them.
No, we're not.
So there's a thing called Haitian Wednesday in Springfield, Ohio. It's when the Haitians go to court, and they end up with different fines and different results than the average person that goes to traffic court or court for anything else. How do we solve this problem with the court system? Because obviously we're seeing even here in Pennsylvania and everywhere, we're seeing the court system completely hijacked against the American people.
Absolutely, we are. We are, and we see that with CPS. We see that with everything. We see that exactly that thing happening right in front of our eyes in Springfield. How do we prevent this? How do we stop this? We no longer tolerate this, because I don't think people truly understand that we hold all the cards. We have all the control. If we have judges that are literally giving foreigners different rules and regulations than our everyday American citizens, that is a problem. That is called discrimination. That is discrimination.
You got to change it from foreigners to illegal invaders, because
well, they're not illegal. Yeah. That's the thing. They're not illegal. They were brought here legally.
Yeah, they were dumped here by administration.
Yeah, they were. And it's supposed to be a temporary situation that they're trying to make permanent in these people's neighborhoods that don't want them there. This is America. Nothing should be forced on us. Nothing should be forced on us. And especially 18,000 people.
That's crazy.
18,000 people.
That's crazy. Let's get to a call. Yep, let's get to a call. We got James, my brother from another mother. James from Springfield, Ohio. James, you're live. What's on your mind, my man?
Hi, James.
Hey, Heather, how you doing? Hey, Carl. I am in Springfield, so this is a passion and topic of mine because I do see this. I've been to the city council meetings. I see the court cases to where the judges drop charges so they don't get any misdemeanors against them, so they don't ever get scheduled for deportation. We say 18,000, guys. In 2024 alone, in Clark County, over 32,000 parolee applications were filed for H-1B1 visas and the refugee status. So this is more than just those original 18,000. Some of them that came here are victims. Others that came here are playing the system, and they've been shown by our own people how to play the system. We have people like Carl Ruby in this town who are getting all the Haitian women that are having children. They're getting power of attorney over their children and wanting to keep them here if they actually do eventually get deported because TPS will end. The traffic accidents, I heard y'all talking about that. I say it all the time. We should be in the Guinness World Book of Records for rollovers in city limits when there's no other cars involved.
Wow.
And it's usually 95. Well, no, it's more than 95. It's almost completely 100% Haitian-driven vehicles. They claim these when they run into buildings, they claim the buildings ran out in front of them. I mean, they literally said this kind of thing. And then, of course, the health. We have a clinic here that is for low-income people. Well, they have decimated the budget of that clinic twice already because of all the Haitians that go to this clinic to get free health care. I mean, it is ridiculous. And y'all talked about the taxes for property taxes. I'm all for that. I'm a senior. I own my home. I feel like I'll never own my home as long as I have to keep paying property taxes.
Right.
I mean, I am a multi-topic individual on what's important to me. And, I was a Vivek fan in the beginning, but when I started seeing him having closed-door meetings with the Somalians and the Haitians, and it hit me the wrong way.
Yep.
And then he come out and then he called us all stupid and said that we need to bring these H-1B visas into the country, into Ohio, to improve the workforce. The heck with that. That's not, no. There's good people here. They need to utilize people that live in this state.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, absolutely. And Heather, I just recently found out about Heather. Carl. And
that's awesome.
When I spoke to her, and I was like, and I went to her website, and I was like, there's no topic this lady talks about that I don't disagree with. So how can I not get behind a person like that?
Because she's common sense, James. She's common sense problem solving. And that's something we lack.
Thank you.
In politics now. They complicate everything, and they complicate everything because they want to confuse you, right? They want to confuse you and make you think that they're much smarter than you are, and that the problem is so complex it can't be solved in a few minutes or overnight or in a few days. It's going to take years. We hear it all the time from these politicians when it's just common sense solutions to common sense problems, in my opinion. Heather, we're coming. We're 3 minutes to the end of the show. So give us your closing statement.
Well, I just want to invite everybody to follow along with our campaign. We are here for the people, both Heather Hill and Stuart Moats. We have a whole team behind us. Please go to our social media and get to meet us. I am the only politician that gives out my private cell phone number because I believe that you have every right to know who you are electing, and it is my job to earn your vote. So please give me a call. Please go to our website, hill.com. Make donations, volunteer. When you volunteer with our team, you can do as much or as little as you would like. Some people just simply go on social media and make posts, just different things that you can do. Make phone calls, make posts, follow along with us, do different things that we're doing, come to some events that we're doing, and bring a friend. Just anything and everything that you could possibly do, but we desperately, desperately need money. So if you would go to fightlikehill.com and click on the donation tab, and please, thank you for your time, and thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to have a voice and to earn your vote, Ohio.
Absolutely. Absolutely love it. And listen, I'm going to go after I'm done. I'm going to donate to Heather's campaign.
Thank you.
Why? Because I believe in Heather. I believe in sending common sense people into government to fix our problems, right? And Heather, I'm going to encourage you to reach out to Tina from the John Fredericks Radio Network and schedule an interview with John during the week, an even bigger audience, to get your voice out there. And listen, stay tuned next. We've got Godzilla Wins, right? The best sports show on radio and TV. I'll see you in the live chat on Getter. We also have the golf show, then the great John Gordon, right, coming up at, I believe it's what, Tyler, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, something like that. Noon, right? Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to the John Fredericks Radio Network all day long. Keep it playing in the background. You're going to absolutely love it. Tyler, thank you so much. Thank you, Heather Hill. And thank you, James. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Good night. God bless.